Hello everyone, this is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and here we are with part 2 of our series, the best players of all time for each character, this time with Mewtwo. So this is a character that I think has a really interesting Smash history, because you kind of have okay, he's like the final boss of Pokemon, and like this original Gen 1 type thing, and like you have the movie of Mew versus Mewtwo and Ash, and this really big thing, and this quote has lived with a lot of people. I've seen that the circumstances of one's birth are relevant is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. This guy means a lot to a lot of people. I mean, it is so interesting to where something as trivial as Pokemon had these feelings with people, and when Mewtwo premiered in Melee, that was a big deal. They expanded outside of just Pikachu and Jigglypuff and started to get a few more Pokemon in there. And Mewtwo, unfortunately, did not meet the hype. If we look at the history of Mewtwo in games, for a while, the only way you could play as Mewtwo was in Melee. Now, he's bad in Melee. I mean, I think in an early tier list, he was literally last. Like below Pichu, below Kirby, below Bowser. There's some people trying to push the character. Seems to be very much a glass cannon. And not to say that it necessarily has a bad recovery, but Mewtwo is big and light, which means that it's easy to hit him and it's easy for him to die. Especially going for up smash with certain characters it's really bad. Project M was when Mewtwo got added in 2013, 2014, I believe, and started to see more results. And then in Smash 4, Mewtwo was the very first DLC character. And so, I mean, everyone's obsessed with Mewtwo. It's like, oh, I call it the orange skin. If not, you're going to have the money match before it. And all these things I remember when Smash 4 first came out. And became a pretty good character. I mean, got buffed a certain part. And Project M was also, considered to be the best in the game at one point, and still, is known to be a pretty solid character. A few modded games here. Sometimes he's all right. Sometimes he's mid. Ultimate, not very good. Maybe a little bit better than Melee, but either way, about the same. And I think people are just disappointed because they think that Mewtwo could be a lot more. It seemed like Lucario was kind of replacing Mewtwo, and Mewtwo, I think, could have had a little bit more, a kind of flashiness. You think of a Psychic type Pokemon you could have, but some kind of I'm thinking Palutena type stuff. But, I think that Mewtwo has disappointed some people, but that hasn't stopped them from trying to push the meta. So here are some players for each game that Mewtwo was in. Some of these are very well-known players. Some of them not for Mewtwo. Like Cyrox and Nebby. People probably know Leffen. But some of these players are not really known for trying Mewtwo. But it's it's pretty interesting. Vector Man. People trying out Mewtwo. Soth is a Project M Ivysaur, and saw him got fourth at a kind of a Melee wasn't the focus of the event, but still got fourth in Mewtwo, and it's hey, shout outs. Also saw Fast Hands at Out of the Blue the other day. Had a decent run there, so big ups. And yeah, so people just trying out Mewtwo. There's going to be players that want to play each character because each character in Platform Fighters has some uniqueness to it. Now for Smash 4, a lot more people considered Mewtwo to be one of the easier characters in the mid to late meta of Smash 4. For me personally, I knew Frostbite, played him a few times in bracket. He would come to our tournaments a decent amount. You have some familiar players, even the Kill Sage, the fighting game player. DeBuzz and Esam were trying it. Tony Guava and Lazy Boredom were some NC players. I think Tony Guava was a Mewtwo main. And then we have a lot of really mainstay players with Abadango, SDX, Rich Brown, a Death Horse / Remrin. They changed their tag. And yeah, so just a fair amount of players trying Mewtwo. There was a casual appeal to Mewtwo, and then also, for reasons we'll get into, Mewtwo was very had a lot of awareness at a certain point in the meta. And then Ultimate, SDX changed their tag to Secret. There's also a few people that tried. EmuKiller had that one set with Tweak at it was like the post local after Congo Saga, I think. And Tweak had gone Diddy Kong, and EmuKiller went Mewtwo, and it's like, oh, they're just messing around. Well, Tweak's Diddy Kong was here to stay. EmuKiller's Mewtwo was not quite. You have a few people that are like, if you look at the shoe stats, players like the best. It's a little bit wonky sometimes, but it gives you a good idea. And a lot of these players are on there for one reason or another. And shout outs, because Mewtwo's not the strongest character. Also, shouts to my guy Enigma. I forgot to put him on here, but I played against him a bunch, and so yeah, I have a little bit of Mewtwo experience. Interesting character, but yeah. And then for mods, I think there's certainly more PM players, but it was kind of hard to track down. But here are some of the main Mewtwo players that I was aware of, and then technically Mewtwo's in a bunch of other games. Janko, I think I mentioned in the last video with Yoshi. I saw a VOD of Janko playing Mewtwo. HDR, Solar Beam was like ranked in it. I think Solar Beam is what, a Rivals 2 player now. Smash Bros. 1 is not really played. Brawl Minus is like more of a casual experience. So I didn't really see much Mewtwo for there. But that's kind of where we're starting from. All the players I'm considering from this list. Elephant in the room. There is at least one Mewtwo player that will not be mentioned due to misconduct. And I want to, have this be a reward. And if you had any reason to not be honored in any kind of way anymore, then I want to reflect that in this list. If you disagree with that, that's fine. You can make your own list. I will stop you. I just want to have the people that are having the, are currently unbanned by the community. So, yeah. So getting into this is kind of like the 11 through 15. These first two players are both in Europe and both very close. I think Anvil is usually ahead of Erurado. I'm not sure if I'm saying those correctly. And like the shoe stats. But Norway is less stacked than France. So if you're going to a more stacked place, I think there's going to be more losses. But that also helps because I'm mainly focusing on, if you didn't see the last video, kind of like what I'm thinking here. I'm mainly going off of like wins. I'm not going to subtract losses very much. Offline, I'll factor in the tier list a little bit, but generally, I'm gonna, consider some placings, consider, longevity, like all this kinds of stuff, and so I think they're pretty close. Neither of them are in the top 10 in my opinion. Anvil did get top 50 in Europe, while Erurado has higher wins, I'd say. So, kind of just depends on take your pick. Leffen has been known to be a pretty good Mewtwo. Beat like Pipsqueak and Sharp like a few years ago at a local. I think beat Professor Pro. But like that's it. There's very few results offline for Leffen. Like if you included like online, if Leffen put more time into Mewtwo, I'm sure Leffen would be higher, but just not enough. And then Mudskip has a few good wins, starting to go to more. I think that Mudskip has a lot of potential to go up higher on this list. I think their career is just kind of getting started in terms of like starting to getting some like higher wins. I'm interested to see Mudskip. I saw them enter Genesis and starting to travel more. So big ups to Mudskip. And then rounding out, Zoma is a Japanese melee Mewtwo. And beat like Cactar, and then beat like, I think like Sane, Sunsuke, a bunch of like Japan like higher level players. I don't think ever got like it. I think beat Rudolph. I don't think ever beat like Amsa or Engen or anything, but still did pretty good. And hey, Mewtwo is hard in melee. I think that like Mewtwo has a pretty good advantage state, especially being another double jump cancel character. I didn't try to do those back to back, but having really good offense, especially against a lot of characters in melee, but sometimes you just get blown up. And so I think that, like, if you're being, you know, really good at neutral and then finishing off your confirms, we see that with DK. Like, if you just kill them before they kill you, it doesn't really matter. Like, so sometimes you can get those wins. But here we are, going into the top 10. We have Taj. Now, Taj was, you know, in a lot of people's minds, like, what really carried Mewtwo in, like, early meta. If we think back to the dark ages of Mewtwo, where it was, like, 2001 all the way to, like, 2012, 2013, 2014, whenever Mewtwo came out in PM. Like, Mewtwo was, a lot of people were sad. I mean, we had a player named Mewtwo King who wanted to prove that Mewtwo was good, and then found out that Mewtwo is actually very bad. But Taj changed a lot of people's minds. I think was what the combo video Shadow Claw. But yeah, beat Ken and Chu at like some kind of like smaller event. Beat Cobble at Big House 6. Beat YCZ, the Samus. Also beat Plank. This was meant to be Apex 2010. Excuse me. I mistyped that, I guess. But I think people think that Taj should be higher on this list, but he went a lot of Marth. His best run, getting like 3rd at Genesis 2, was no Mewtwo as far as I'm aware. Taj was not really much of a Mewtwo player for a lot of his career. Starting to bring Mewtwo back more, I think went to like Alaska like a few years ago, and you know, entering stuff here and there. Also plays a little bit of Link. I saw that. I was like, he got like top 64 or some tournament going Link. I was like, huh, okay. Arizona will do that, I guess. But yeah. So I think that Taj, you know, I don't want to take away too much. But like, okay, if they were smaller events like locals or something, like I'm not gonna be picky for Mewtwo. Like, the results are not quite as good overall as compared to like Yoshi. So I'm gonna count locals. And also, people debate Leffen and Taj all the time. I think that even if you take away these, I still think that a Cole will win. Is probably better than a Progressive Pro win. It's close, but I would think that Taj is probably still ahead of Leffen there. And then like beating these guys, even I know like taking away from early meta, it's like, oh, they were plumbers back then, but like he's getting top 20 in the world in retro rank, like. Considered 47th all time and 24th in 2013. This ranking was a little bit fraudulent compared to some later ones, but it's still really good. So, in playing a bad character, I think that he should be top 10. Next, number 9, we have TimPrater. Now, we're starting to have some players that you're going to be surprised by. Now, TimPrater is, we're counting locals here. I know some people would prefer I don't, and the last one I didn't as much. Like Pharaoh had even more Syrup and Zomba wins. I only counted the ones at like regionals and majors. But for this, I wanna show off locals because I feel like these players kind of depend on it. It'd be kind of slim pickings to not include them for some people. So has a lot of wins in Missouri. 10 Apollo Kage wins. Now I think it's like 10 and 88. So not as strong as when you look at the full scope, but taking 10 wins off of Apollo, like AK is freaking good. Like, and props to AK for attending that much. I think that gives a lot of validation to those people that are trying, and then like, you know, TimPrater gets to take advantage, and then beats Atada, has 6 Colorado wins, a really good inkling. I think still sees like a Mega Man, a few more wins, like Kilogram Hours or something. But yeah, also starting to attend more. Second or third in St. Louis, kind of depending on how things go, usually behind AK. But also has played a little bit of Wolf and Doc, but generally has been playing a lot of Mewtwo. And yeah, I think that kind of being, like, Missouri is one of the stronger states, surprisingly. And so kind of being like that Heartland area, I think they just had a sweet spot 10, I think. But also went up to Battle BC, got top 48. That's pretty good. So yeah, I think we could see TimPrater go up a little bit more. But for now, kind of humble. But got some local wins, got a few other good ones. So props to TimPrater. Number 8, we have Remrin, formerly Death Horse. Now this I was a little bit surprised by. I was only looking at Ultimate. I didn't realize that they went by Death Horse. I think she went by Death Horse in Smash 4. So that even adds to it. I think that I had Remrin being like HM or number 10, but seeing these two careers put together is very impressive. Now, being from Quebec in Canada, I think also it had to give a big shout out because you have like just difficulty with traveling. Usually when you think of Canada, you think of Toronto and you think of Vancouver. You have Glomel and you have Battle BC. And those are like the main stuff. Now, Quebec is a little bit more east. It's like, I think, above like New Hampshire. At least the part where she was from. But probably would travel more to like Ontario, like kind of that area above the Midwest. But yeah, like having to travel makes it more challenging because you have, more time spent driving, less time practicing. Like it's a risk. It's it's a commitment to go to those events. And so, and from what I've heard, Quebec has gotten better. But yeah, so getting a decent amount of good wins. Getting win on Mistake, a very good Bayo. Black Twins has been a very good player in Canada for a while. Myron, Dark Shad, Seagull Joe, classic. Also Super Gokel, so doing good against Sonic back in the day. For Ultimate, we have MK Leo. I think this was against Leo's Rob. And the Syrup win was before Syrup was like, I think Syrup was like 103 or something. So this was not quite as impressive as they look. But this is still good. And like Ludo is really solid. Mario. Pacha is a really solid Palutena. Z is a Diddy Kong that like some of these players were getting like farmed. But yeah, really consistent. Getting 13th at Frostbite in Smash 4. 33rd at Gommel in 2023. It's very solid. I don't think Remrin has been entering much recently. Used to play Wario back in Smash 4. Banjo in Ultimate. Unsure how much we'll see from her, but props. Got a fair amount of good wins. So, yeah. All right, next one is EmuKiller. This might also get people a little bit upset. In a lot of people's minds, EmuKiller came out of nowhere and became the face of Mewtwo. I mean, beating M2K in Mewtwo Dittos, I mean, that's like, people thought that was like even more than like PPMD beating M2K and Marth Dittos in Melee. Mewtwo King, obviously, shout out. But Mewtwo King just doesn't go Mewtwo very much. And like, Mewtwo, during this time, this was also, Skatar 3 was when there was the Professor Pro versus Rolex money match. I think he beat both of them at this tournament. Or at least at some point in the career. So, big stuff to EmuKiller. Became a really strong Mewtwo. Now, Mewtwo was broken. Top 3, if not top 1 of the game for a stretch. I think in the 3.0 and 3.02 patches. Definitely got nerfed in 3.5 and 3.6. But yeah, EmuKiller was becoming a really strong Mewtwo. And Mewtwo was starting to get a lot of prominence. EmuKiller was beating a lot of people. Armada, ESAM, Pink Fresh, Professor Pro, Seagull Joe. Shout out Seagull Joe, entering again. Milkman, Coney. Shout out to Coney. Used to enter Brawl and PM a little bit back in the day. But yeah. And then, getting that Skatar win. Third at Zenith, second at Guts. Very good. Considered to be 12th all-time. Now, it seems like 12th all-time should be higher. But EmuKiller, once Mewtwo, I'm not going to say it was because of the nerfs. Maybe it was just kind of correlations, not causation. But EmuKiller started playing Meta Knight. And so, considered to be top 5. They didn't even have an official rank until like 2016, I think, for PM. Considered to be top 5. Very strong, having a lot of good wins. And then, like, doing solidly here and there. 3.6 rank was like for the time that 3.6 was released. And got 23rd overall. For most of this, he played Meta Knight. So I think that it had EmuKiller committed to Mewtwo for the extent of his career, which I think he enters occasionally. But shoutouts to being in Tri-State. There's a lot of events there usually. I think Blacklisted is located in Tri-State. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, just has a pretty good career overall. But Meta Knight became a lot of... I think he became a big name in PM because of Mewtwo. But started playing more Meta Knight later in his career. And so I don't think that he's quite getting into like the top 5. But still really impressive. And I mean, again, like that Skatar run was really, really influential in terms of like putting him on the map. I just saw a Reddit post. It's like, who is this guy? Like 11 years ago. So big props. All right. Number 6, we have Suzune. Suzune? I'm not quite sure. But we have another Japanese player. There's going to be a lot of Japanese players on these lists. Just be aware. But we have probably our last on this list of like really active Mewtwo mains. Now, Ultimate, pretty, it seems like a younger player, or at least newer, not like Smash 4 or anything like that. But going Mewtwo and getting a decent amount of good wins. And also going to like Europe a few times. That's something I want to see more. I want to see like the mid to like lower high level players go to smaller regions and see how they do. Like, yeah, taking your Akala, Mia, Doramigi, Hertz, Shutone, Ashimo, like taking those players, they're gonna do pretty fine wherever they go. But like I want to see like the under level of that and see how they do in like smaller regions, and like I think that can be pretty interesting. It doesn't just have to be like, you know, the top, you know, the biggest fish in the pond. Like have some medium-sized fish and see how it compares. I think it gives a lot of more context of the region to see how kind of like the mid-level, obviously still a good player, but seeing how they do. And Suzune is done pretty good. Wins on Raflo, and also wins on like Rarchor and Niraz and Goblin, Susu, but also a lot of wins in region as well. Level 1, Shion, Kome twice, Kananabe, Yonpi, I think Gilhu is Canadian, right? But like Jagabata, like doing very good. 9th at a Kowloon. This was a French tournament. Got 9th there. And then 3rd at Sumabato. Even got shouted out in like the ranked. It was like, hey, this guy comes and does well at our events, even though he's not even in, doesn't even live in Europe. So big shout outs to Suzune. I think that Suzune still entering a bunch. So again, this is probably the last active player that we're going to be focusing on in terms of a Mewtwo player. So currently it's his to take. I am very interested to see how it'll go for the remainder of Ultimate's lifespan. Who knows how long that will be, but some players, I mean, they're just going to go, going to stick with what they got and keep collecting those wins, so big ups. Next, we have Frozen. Now, I didn't realize Frozen's career, she has a lot of history. So I mentioned Project M, but Frozen plays like pretty much every game. And I didn't realize they were the same player as I see a lot in Tri-State events. Going, I think Pyramithra in Ultimate is like, you know, a solid player there, but I think their claim to fame is becoming kind of like the next. I would say like kind of like when EmuKiller stopped playing Mewtwo quite as much, Frozen kind of took EmuKiller's place. And having a better career, I would say. It doesn't have a ton of top wins. I could have been a little bit more thorough with this, but I feel like you kind of get the point. A win on Sosa, if you don't know who Sosa is an incredible Wario from SoCal. Getting a win means a lot. Also be EmuKiller. This might have been a Meta Knight win, but EmuKiller, he knows Mewtwo. Also be HBox, Professor Pro, Dirt Boy, Gallo, either Mario or Falcon, Anther of Anther's Ladder fame. But yeah, getting 9th at Blacklisted 2, 3rd at We Tech Those, not the Virginia Tech local, a different one, and 5th at Smash Philadelphia. So pretty solid. 44th all time. While this is not as strong compared to EmuKiller. EmuKiller has a lot of Meta Knight results. So I think if you're only looking at results in terms of Mewtwo, I do think, I mean, getting 13th with a nerfed Mewtwo, I think that's also more impressive. If your character's not as good and you're still doing all right with them, then I'm going to give credit there. Also has a couple other characters, but Frozen became a very, like, okay, we're going to see Mewtwo very frequently. So big ups to Frozen getting top 5. And now we have getting into a Smash 4 some more. We saw Remrin earlier, but Smash 4 is a lot of this list, especially at the top half. Rich Brown, I think I saw Rich Brown. I was looking up stuff. M2K had said, like, oh man, I felt very insecure after losing to Rich Brown. Rich Brown was a good player. I think perceived to not be, like, you know, some people thought that Mewtwo was kind of mashy. You just do Nair and neutral and you just throw out balls like not fully charged, like lower charged shadow balls. And, you know, Rising Fair, air dodge all the time because you had multiple air dodges, so Mewtwo would disappear. I definitely understand that people think that Mewtwo was not good and people were carried, but Rich Brown is a good player. I mean, has a pretty active career playing pretty much every Smash game. I mean, was a very good Olimar back in Brawl. Plays Min now in Ultimate. I don't think he's entered in a few years, but he's kind of older. He's doing some music stuff, and he has a good history when it comes to Smash 4. Went on to Buzz, Abadango, a bunch of Japanese players. Really, really impressive. Like, kind of, I think, surprised people with the amount of good wins that he had. Just, you know, showing up and being someone that, like, while he wasn't ever the top Mewtwo, there's a few others that were above him that I'll get into some of them soon. But just a pretty consistent player and got a fair amount of wins. I mean, 17th at Evo, like one of the big Evos. I guess they were all kind of big, but, like, you know, some of these Evos were huge. 5th at Abadango Saga and 17th at Genesis 4. Top 10 SoCal all time, and SoCal was a strong region. Consider 52nd all time for Smash 4. That's not easy. Started to fall off a little bit with some of these results, getting 23rd, 38th. Usually they didn't go to top 100. Orion rank did. Also plays a little bit of Rosalina, but yeah, very solid wins. And I think good enough to be top 4. I think that some of these players could be argued, but I do think Rich Brown is top 4. So, good stuff. Haven't seen much from Rich Brown going Mewtwo in Ultimate, but still a very good career. We'll have to see if anyone can surpass him. Now, getting to top 3, I think 3 and 2 is very close. I think that number 1 is pretty solid, but they're close. I could see it argued either way. We have SDX, also known as Secrets. Now, we have a player that has entered both Smash 4 and Ultimate, but started to move away. So some of these wins I'm a little bit unclear of. They are labeled to be Mewtwo wins, but I'm not quite sure for some of them. But I still think wouldn't change too much. Smash 4 SDX became really, really good at the end of Smash 4. Now, some people take away from the end of Smash 4 where, like, Big House 8 wasn't nearly as stacked as it was, so this 5th didn't mean as much, whatever. Like, I think that if you go and you do well, it's not the fault of people not, like, it's not your fault that people didn't go to the event. You did pretty good, like, got good wins. I mean, these wins are pretty crazy. Like, I mean, Light, Kameme, Gact, like, really, really impressive. And just became a really solid player. And so there were 5 rankings and then a all-time ranking, but the all-time also had like a 6th period. So this last period, SDX was going kind of nuts and getting a ton of good wins, getting 13th on this Orion rank, all-time 45, and not really having a lot. Like, he kind of snuck in at the end. So really, really good stuff to SDX. And then in Ultimate, did get 53rd. and 92nd on some of the rankings. Now, Joker did come out at a certain point, and I think started going by secret. Started going more Joker, so some of these I'm a little unclear of, but still very good. Coming from New York, I think upstate, so had to travel a little bit, but got first at the Canada Cup. Did fine. I think Ultimate was challenging because Mewtwo got really different. There was a lot of things that did not work quite as well. And you know, like I mentioned that I knew Frostbite, one of the better Mewtwo's of Smash 4, dropped Mewtwo very early in the game. Switched to Roy and kind of stuck it out with Roy. Didn't see much Mewtwo from him. And yeah, I get it. You know, Joker was a pretty good character at the time, but yeah, still a really good career. A lot of wins in a not big time. And so props to attending all that stuff. Some people were saying, hey, I'm just going to wait till Ultimate comes. I mean, SDX got those doves. Now we have second. We have Fuzz. Now, they changed their tag to Violets, and couldn't find a good updated picture, so I just put the one on their PM rank. But this is a impressive career. Now, I said that I would kind of give some credit to some players that were playing with a worse version of Mewtwo, to where like the Melee and the Ultimate Mewtwo being a worse character overall. But I think that like a lot of these players that had a better Mewtwo just got more wins than that position on the tier list would necessarily carry them to. I think that these players excelled and did super well, and deserve a lot of credit. Beating Thunder's Reign twice. People don't understand how good Thunder's Reign was. Like, Thunder's was just winning all the time. And I mean, Malachi, Sosa, Switch, and then earlier was Junebug. Like, these were good players. But getting 2 Thunder's wins is, like, very good. And just having a pretty solid, diverse spread of wins. The Doctor, their boy Kaisa, the Charizard, used to Waterfalls. Shout out, he was on Survivor. I watched him. And having a lot of good results. This, I think, third at Bigger Bow might have been a little bit more substantial than Salty Wands, but people looked over this, and this was a good win here. It was not quite as stacked, but it was fairly top heavy and was able to get some wins. And then also got second at the Flex Zone 3. And got top 10 multiple times. That's very impressive. And 21st all time. And hasn't entered like a ton. They're from Texas, so they used to have like, Clutch City Clash and like low tier / low tide city. I don't think they've entered very much. I think I saw them entered like a blacklisted a few years ago. But their career was not very long. But the potency of wins, it reminds me of SDX a little bit, where they both didn't have a super long career, but were able to collect a lot of wins. Now, I think Fuzz is a little bit above SDX just because of, like, even though Smash 4 had a larger scene, I do think if you're able to beat the number 1 in that, like, I still think that's super impressive. So I'm going to give Violets second in the history of Mewtwo. And number 1, I think it can only be one. The winner of Pound 2016, Abadango. Now, Mewtwo was out, and he was alright. Casuals were hyped because it was a DLC character. Yo, we got more of this game, that's crazy. But Abadango, with his crazy footstool disable combos into up smash, like all these things, the what are those with the down smashes, like Abadango was carrying Mewtwo. Like, people were crazy for Mewtwo. And like, yeah, EmuKiller got that Skatar win. Fuzz got the like, there were some regional wins, but Pound 2016 was like the pinnacle of Mewtwo, and probably still is. Like, that is the biggest event a Mewtwo has won. Changed the tier list. Like, it's hard to say chicken and the egg, but I'm pretty sure like this caused Mewtwo to go up like 20 spots. Now, I think maybe you can say Mewtwo was better, and so was higher on the tier list, and then showed it with the wins, whatever, but still. Now, Abadango didn't always go Mewtwo. Earlier on, we saw a bunch of random characters. We saw Pac-Man, saw Rosalina, Wario, Meta Knights, and then later in the career started going Bayonetta more in this kind of like later season. But I mean, you get 5, 7, and 10, and 15. Like, that is really, really strong. And this major win, I mean, incredible run. Just look at some of these, like, he got so many Japanese victories, but also some other good ones too. I mean, Void, he got Lima, Mars, DeBuzz, Larry. Like, these are really, really good wins. He had a really good career and not that long of a time. I mean, I think that, like, if you have these players, because, like, it's hard to see, like, a Mewtwo that stuck it out for, like, all of Ultimate. You have people that kind of got a late start. You have people that, you know, maybe started with Mewtwo and dropped them and went to a different character. But, like, I think that just the potency of the of Abadango's career coming to a head with Pound 2016 is really, really, really impressive. So big ups to Abadango. I think people still talk about him. He still enters some. I think he entered something earlier this month. I think he has been going Rob. I'll double check his maybe Meta Knight. I'll have to double check he's been going. Not nearly as successful as he has been in Smash 4 and hasn't really touched Mewtwo very much. But I mean, Abadango is like, that is going to be the peak of Mewtwo until it gets dethroned by another Mewtwo winning a major. And who knows how long that'll be. So yeah, good stuff to Abadango. And so here's kind of where we are with the travel fund. I did mention in the last video that this will be used to help send players to events, and a minimum of $50 once a sub threshold is hit. Yoshi has already been hit. We're at like 235, I think. So trying to get to Mewtwo, we're a little farther away. I might adjust if there's some issues. And I've also noticed that my Melee videos get a lot more traction. So I'm going to prioritize videos that include Melee characters. I did say I was going to try to do it Monday, Friday. I was really busy this past week. So I'm probably going to do like Melee characters on Monday. Maybe fit in some Ultimate Smash 4 Brawl premiering characters. If I can. But the Melee ones are going to take priority just because, and again, those characters are also in Ultimate, so it kind of covers a larger range of people. But yeah, I'm also, I'm going to try and do more posts across social media, trying to get more attention to it, and trying to get, you know, I voted personally for Daniel, but I don't want to have it just kind of by default. So yeah, and then soon we'll get the vote started for Mewtwo whenever we get to 400 subs. We'll see how that goes, but I'll keep posting. I'll keep going. So yeah, thank you for watching, and next time will be a character that is from Melee that has a projectile. I will not reveal more. You will just have to wait and see, or you can join our Discord and you could see a sneak peek from what I have planned. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.